Welcome, I'm Natalie Chereau, investigative reporter for the Ventura County Peace and Justice Network. Pollution is a worldwide problem. It's responsible for 4 million deaths. And in the city of Oxnard, toxic pollution has reached skyrocketing limits. California's most toxic district is located in the center of Oxnard. The toxic pollution here is 95% higher than anywhere else in the state. Farm workers and people who live near agricultural fields are exposed to pesticides, both outdoors and inside their homes. Exposure to pesticides causes cancer. Studies have found that people living in agricultural areas like Oxnard have higher amounts of pesticide in their bodies than others. The dark red areas highlighted in this California Environmental Protection Agency map indicates the most polluted communities. You can see Oxnard's Rose Park, Colonia, and the Five Points neighborhoods all saturated in red on the map. Its air, soil, and water have the highest rates of pollution. Asthma rates here are 95 to 96% higher than the rest of the state. Surrounded by farmlands, it boasts some of the richest agricultural land in California. Neat rows of crops separate suburban tract developments. A mix of mild climate and a long harvest season is favorable for such high-value crops as strawberries. Farmers can grow double, sometimes triple crops on the same piece of land during the year. This agricultural field is smack in the middle of this East Village neighborhood on Cesar Chavez Avenue, named after the labor leader who lived in Oxnard in the 50s and 60s. It's the future home of a new high school scheduled to be built on Camino and Rose Avenue. Pesticide exposure and asthma rates here are as high as in Rose Park. Cesar Chavez co-founded the National Farm Workers Association. It was later renamed the United Farm Workers. According to the UFW, the life expectancy of a farm worker is 49 years old. In comparison, the average American life expectancy is 79. Difficult working conditions, lack of adequate health care, and pesticide exposure is blamed for early deaths. Pesticide exposure is high for most of Oxnard and Camarillo. In 2016, the California Department of Pesticide Regulation reported that Ventura County ranks number 1 in the state for pounds of pesticide applied per square mile. 5.8 million pounds to be exact. Pesticides are used to control insects, weeds, and plant and animal diseases. Regulators have approved over 1,000 pesticides for use in California. They are applied to fields by air, by machinery, or by workers on the ground. A sharp, pungent whiff of freshly mowed grass in the air could be the fumigant Chloropicrin. Farmers sprayed over 27,000 pounds of Chloropicrin in 2016 in Rose Park and parts of neighboring Colonia and Five Points. Chloropicrin is harmful to humans. It can be absorbed through breathing, ingestion, and the skin. At high concentrations, it's severely irritating to the lungs, eyes, and skin. Chloropicrin has a complicated history. In World War I, German forces used concentrated chloropicrin against Allied forces as a tear gas. While not as lethal as other chemical weapons, it penetrated gas masks, caused vomiting, and forced Allied soldiers to remove their masks and expose them to other more toxic chemicals used during the war. The chemical industry uses chloropicrin in fumigants, fungicides, and insecticides to sterilize soil and seed, and for exterminating rodents. Chloropicrin is cheaper to use than other pesticide alternatives. It's also known to trigger late-term miscarriages. Captan is another pesticide farmers use to spray their fields with. It's used to kill fungus. It's applied to edible crops such as apples, peaches, almonds, and strawberries. Its exposure rate is ranked the second highest in the Rose Park and East Village neighborhoods. University researchers found captan in plasma samples of mothers and their newborns. Dermatitis and conjunctivitis is one of its many side effects. The EPA classifies captan as a human carcinogen. cancer has been linked to captan exposure. According to the U.S. Department of Agriculture, 55% of conventionally grown strawberries contain captan residue. Air and water have become major battleground in Ventura County's multi-billion-dollar agricultural industry. It isn't clear what the EPA is doing to prevent toxic pollution levels from climbing any higher. What is clear is that our children, families, and loved ones, everyone in these communities, are being exposed to dangerously high dosages of toxic pollution daily. This is Natalie Scherow reporting.